You're not half bad. You killed my father. Like father, like son.
Welcome to the motherfucker. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, and now it's time for our weekend recap covering all this weekend's action. Across the Atlantic Ocean, in the United Kingdom, young unbeaten up-and-comer Tia May Ayton battered seasoned veteran Stevie Levy, forcing a stoppage in the fourth round of a contest scheduled for Ayton, what was a predictable outcome because I think most people had Tia winning the fight. It was just a question of how. Is she going to win a decision like in her last fight, or is she going to stop the broad? And she stopped her. Stevie Levy, God bless her, is a solid area-level fighter. But she's not European level, let alone world level, so once the opening bell sounds and Tia starts letting her hands go, it was really just target practice. She couldn't miss Stevie Levy, and she beat her up for all of 4 rounds, advancing to a professional record of 6 wins with 5 knockouts now. No losses, no draws, no problem. To my knowledge, that wasn't a world title eliminator of any kind. I think it's far too soon for young Tia May Ayton to start worrying about alphabet titles. What she needs to do is fight, and fight often, in what are developmental fights, just like this one. She's already fought 2 times this year, once in February, then again yesterday. She moved up in weight for this one. Up until this point, Tia May Ayton's first 5 fights have been fought in the super bantamweight division, where Ellie Scottney currently reigns as that division's undisputed champion. But yesterday, she moved up to feather for Stevie. And I don't know if she's gonna stay there, because she is a young fighter whose body is still growing. I guess it all depends on where the opportunities lie. At Super Bantam, Ellie Scottney's about to move up and drop all the belts that she holds. When she does, Tia can move back down and see about picking one of them up. I thought you said she shouldn't be fighting for alphabet titles. She shouldn't. Not at this age, and not if she's got to go through an Ellie Scottney, a Tiara Brown, or an Amanda Serrano to do it. But if she can pick up a world title of opportunity, a vacant title, knock yourself out. Remember that this fighter is only 19 years old and has yet to have fought in a 10-rounder. The most that she's ever fought for was for 8 rounds with Catherine Ramos, and needless to say that between 122 and 126, there are a lot more dangerous opponents than that one. She needs to be ready. So, if she can pick up a vacant title, sure, go ahead. But if you gotta fight a Tiara Brown, an Amanda Serrano, or an Ellie Scottney, that's something else. That's gonna take more doing. This kid's only been a professional boxer for a little over a year, only has 6 fights, 19 years old, never fought in a 10-rounder. She's not ready for those caliber of opponents. Not yet, and there's no shame in saying that. She's still making her bones in the paid ranks. In the previous year, she fought about 4 times. Given how easily she was able to make it past Stevie Levy, I would say that she should fight 4 more. 4 more times this one. 1 more time over the summer months, then 1 more after that in either fall or winter. It's all about banking rounds. She's focused on her bank account. After the fight, they said that Tia wants to start making more money, and to do that, well, you've got to fight better people, and I anticipate that she will, though you have to crawl before you walk. It's not just about honing her fighting ability either, because she's got buckets of ability. It's also about building your brand, building your profile. The more often she fights and the more often she knocks these girls out, the more people come to know her, the more people come to like her, to where they want to see her fights, they want to be there. You have to build that too. Belt or no belt, you have to build your rep, which, believe it or not, is more important than just having a belt. There are a lot of belt holders, and a lot of people don't even know who the fuck they are. After the fight, Stevie Levy took to her social media saying, people are asking if Tia Ayton really does hit that hard. Jaws starting to swell pretty bad now, and just started eating a soft chicken wrap, and one of my back teeth has decided to shatter into pieces. I'd say I ate that uppercut like Bruce Bogtrotter ate that chocolate cake. Good and proper. Gotta love Stevie Levy. She's a good sport, but in so many words, she's saying, yeah, Tia really does hit that hard, and you want that reputation to build amongst the paying customers, the fight fans, to where they want to see you fight. They want to see you, and they're willing to pay. And you can only build that over time, not rushing into things, just letting it happen organically. Congratulations to Tia May Ayton. I thought she would win, and she did, in knockout fashion. Over to the super middleweight title fight between then champion Armando Resendiz and newly crowned champion Jaime Munguia, who became a 2-weight world champion yesterday. The prediction stuck. I went with Jaime Munguia to win a points decision, and he did, by not just outgunning Armando Resendiz, but outfoxing him, because Eddie Reynoso's influence over the fighter was evident in his movement, creating distance and creating space.
Told you he's gonna have Jaime boxing.
Both boys had been out about a year since their last outings in May of the previous one. Armando coming off that win over Caleb Plant, and Jaime Munguia coming off of his win over Bruno Surace, which gave him more time to settle in with Eddie Reynoso and soak up that tutelage. I felt it would make a difference, and it did, but there were so many people who wrote off Jaime Munguia on the premise that he was knocked out by Bruno Surace, a little-known French fighter with just a handful of knockouts. If he could knock out Jaime, Armando might be able to do the same or worse.
Oh yeah, that's what they thought, but I wasn't buying it.
I'm not in the business of making excuses for fighters. I just try to understand what I'm looking at, what's happening, and why. And I figure that, going into the Bruno Surace fight, Jaime was keeping a pretty busy schedule following his loss to Canelo. It didn't take him long to book another fight, and yet another fight. So I think maybe he was burned out with Bruno.
Maybe that's why he got stopped.
Comes back, wins a decision, but there were a lot of people out there who still were not convinced, who became convinced of Armando Resendiz. And for what?
Because he beat a shot-to-shit Caleb Plant?
Yeah, I got a decent amount of pushback in going with Jaime Munguia to win a points decision. How he did it, he was outgunning Armando Resendiz in the pocket when they did trade punches in the pocket, and when they didn't, he was moving around, taking a break, and collecting himself to recharge for the next salvo.
The next onslaught.
Proving that he not only has the bigger guns in the gunfight, but he's got the better legs too, to periodically take a break, move around,
take a breather,
before going back in those moments where he's crashing the pocket and letting go of 3, 4, and 5 punch combinations. Armando Resendiz looked like a man trying to hold back a storm. Jaime looked the stronger puncher of the two.
Even though Armando was the one stalking him, bearing down on him.
It was all very one-paced from the defending champion who could not hang on to his WBA title. Outgunned, mid-range, to inside on the outside, outboxed, outfoxed.
He periodically got in with a decent-looking punch here and there. Nothing strong enough to make a dent in Jaime Munguia.
As Jaime would let go of 5 and 6 punch combinations that he would regularly finish off with a hook to the body. I noticed that he did that all throughout the fight, finishing off with a hook to the body. And you know what they say about body punches? You don't recover from those as easily as you do the head punches. So if enough of them land, it's gonna take a lot out of you.
That you won't get back as the fight progresses.
It was very intentional from Jaime Munguia, finishing off his combinations that way, going upstairs, then downstairs.
That's the story of the fight.
That's how he beat him, by outgunning him in the pocket and outboxing him, outfoxing him on the move.
He had him hurt a couple of times too.
Especially at the very end of the fight in the 12th round. He was rattled, he was buzzed.
As Jaime Munguia was raining blows down upon him, though alas, he was unable to finish, instead winning a points decision, as I said he would. He is now a 2-weight world champion, having won the WBO title from Saddam Ali at junior middleweight many years ago. Now this title at super middle from Armando Resendiz. Are pound-for-pound talks now in order?
Not yet, but Jaime's getting there. That all the titles he's ever won, he won them from defending champions, not vacant titles and world titles of opportunity. He beat a champion to be a champion both times.
But those eggs still need more bacon. It's going to take more than beating Saddam Ali and Armando Resendiz.
Ahead of the fight, there was talk of Jaime Munguia moving back down to middleweight, win or lose this weekend, to see about becoming a 3-weight world champion. Post-fight, Canelo Alvarez, who was in attendance to support his Eddie Reynoso stablemate, said, "We'll talk to Munguia and see if he wants to be on my Riyadh card in September."
There's plenty of time to do it. He can sit out the rest of May and all of June and most of July to start getting ready towards the end through August to come back in September.
There's plenty of time. The window is there, and he needs to build on this momentum, because the win over Armando Resendiz is a solid win over a solid fighter, a reigning champion who he just derailed.
What weight is it going to be at?
Well, Jaime did mention moving down to middleweight, and between now and then, if Carlos Adames drops the green and gold title, Jaime Munguia might come back right on time to pick it up. That's a part of the reason I think he's moving down, because he knows the middleweight division right now is a lot weaker than super middle. Super middle's a lot deeper.
Who's really down there that he's got to worry about?
Yanni Beck's the only guy that I can think of, but the whole middleweight division seems happy to ignore him. Jaime could instead fight an aging champion in Arislandi Lara for his WBA title and throw the vacant WBC one into the mix.
One way he could do it.
Another way he could do it is to fight the WBC's interim champion, Jesus Ramos, another Mexican national like Jaime, like Armando, for full champion status. He could do it that way, or they could have him fight Kazakhstan's Mayrim Nursultanov, who's currently ranked at number 1 in their rank standings. There's several different ways it could break down, though always remember, the World Boxing Council is very much partial towards Mexican fighters. They would actually prefer to put their titles in the hands of as many Mexican fighters as they can, and Jaime Munguia is certainly more well-known than Mayrim Nursultanov, than Jesus Ramos.
What I think is those conversations have already happened behind closed doors. Behind the scenes, I think the WBC, as a favor to Canelo Alvarez, would outline a path for Jaime to hold their belt in the middleweight division.
Because Jaime doesn't seem to want to stay at super middleweight, and why would he? It's a deep and dangerous division where, because of his name value, a lot of people are going to go after him. The ones that aren't already going after Canelo are going to go after Jaime.
He's got a belt.
You're talking about Hamza Shiraz, Ozlis Iglesias, Kevin Lele Sajo, Diego Pacheco,
Bektamir Melenkuziev.
They're all going to want a piece of him. Any one of those guys would have fought him before because he's known. More so now that he has a title. I think he knows that, and that's why I think he wants to haul ass.
Go down the middle. He could come back as a middleweight in September, though for now, congratulations to him. The prediction stuck. I said that Jaime would win a points decision, and he delivered.
He did it. Now for the main event, what's got everybody talking, David Benavidez's destruction of then unified champion Zurdo Ramirez. Where in the build-up of the fight, I decided to go with David Benavidez on the premise that he's got faster hands than Zurdo Ramirez, and in the exchange, that will decide the outcome.
And he would have already known this because he sparred Zurdo for over 100 rounds years ago. So he knows exactly what he's signing up for, and he already knows that he's a lot faster than this guy. Now, I went with David to win a points decision, but he did go a step further and stop Zurdo, knocking him down in the 4th, then again in the 6th.
I've yet to have seen official confirmation, but I think that David Benavidez fractured Zurdo Ramirez's orbital bone. Because in between the time that the punches land and Zurdo takes a knee, as the camera is panning over to him, there was already visible swelling forming in just seconds.
Just seconds after the punches landed. Usually when that happens, it's because something broke.
The story of the fight for me is that Zurdo Ramirez didn't fight the right fight. You see, a lot of people saying that he looked slow and sluggish, didn't show any head movement. As he was barreling forward, trying to pressure David Benavidez, press forward.
Force him to trade. Draw him into exchanges. Not the best idea if you already know that he's faster than you are. What he should have done.
Should have fought how he's been fighting, on his toes behind his jab, not stepping into it. Make David Benavidez work for his meal. Instead of bringing the fight to him, make him come to you.
He didn't. He tried to use his size on David Benavidez to bear down on him.
Because he was the noticeably bigger fighter of the two, not just bigger in terms of height and length, but also weight. He looked to be the heavier man of the two, and he tried to use that to overpower David just to get outgunned. The reactions to David's performance are mixed. You know, the people that you expect to support him are supporting him, and the people who don't,
they're not blown away. They're not surprised. Many of them, like myself, went with David to win. It was Michael Montero.
The PBC's X account asked, how is it that David Benavidez now looks faster at cruiser? To which Michael responded, because he fought a guy who's always been slow and plodding, even when he was at 168.
Yeah, pretty much.
How many times and how many videos in the build-up of this weekend's fight did you hear me say that while I don't really like David Benavidez, and I don't buy into the angling, I think his hand speed is what's going to make the difference. I think he's got faster hands than Zurdo, and that's what's going to decide it.
And that's what did. So I'm not blown away by the outcome of the fight. He does get cool points for style, because he stopped the guy where I had him winning a decision, but I had him winning.
Like most people afterwards, guess who he decided to call out?
Well, good, man. I just want to give the fans what they want to see. I've seen Canelo in the building. Hey, let me just ask the fans this. Do you guys want to see Canelo versus David Benavidez? Enough said. Enough said. That means that we can't leave that fight on the table. You know what I mean? Whatever. I have respect for Canelo. He's a great champion, but I'm a great champion too. Let's do it.
Do you believe it's realistic?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You've been through this many times.
I'm still champion at 175. I'm champion at 200 and 175. So they want to come get it at 175. Let's get it at 175.
And if not him, how about Bivol?
Yeah, Bivol is the number one on my hit list. You know, Bivol he's a great competitor, great champion. But I'm a great champion too. I just want to test myself every single fight.
And finally, go ahead in Spanish, the Mexican monster.
Monstro! What time is it? Monstro! Hey, saluda a toda mi gente, toda mi raza. Y también arriba la finiquera, la verga.
Congratulations on this historic evening, David.
Thank you, guys.
Unfortunately for David, Canelo Alvarez wasn't actually ringside for that little call-out. I told you he was only there to support Jaime, and after his fight, he got up and left.
Why the fuck is a cruiserweight calling out a super middle?
Oh, he did really good. He learned a lot. You see he's moving. He moved better. His ways, everything. He did everything perfect to win. So I'm glad they are champions.
And how are you been? You're coming back, Canelo, against Billy. Talk to us about the matchup. How excited are you to come back?
I'm excited to be a champion again. McBilly is a hard fighter, so it's gonna be a good fight. I think the styles makes a good fight.
And we're leaving before the main event. You're leaving before the main event. Why you don't want to
I just come to see Jaime Munguia.
That's it.
Te lo dije.
I mean, why the fuck else would Canelo Alvarez have been there? Does he normally go to David's fights? Do you expect him to stick around afterwards so that David could continue to ride his coattails and clout chase him? At this point, that's what that is. You're at cruiserweight. You just won 2 cruiserweight titles.
But the first thing you do after the fight is call out a super middleweight who's literally coming off a loss for a fight you don't even think he wants to have.
How many interviews, how many podcasts have you seen David on where he himself says that Canelo doesn't want to fight him? So, if you know that, and the fight isn't likely to happen, why is he the first guy you started calling out?
Because he's cloud chasing him and he's a little bitch.
Fat lazy bitch.
Yesterday's event was not a sellout like so many David Benavidez fans had hoped it would be. I could see the empty seats from the videos that those in attendance were sending me.
Shut it when he gets up there, and the first thing that he does is start calling out a naturally smaller, older fighter for a fight he doesn't even expect to happen. It's about promotion, not pugilism. It's about him continuing to use Canelo Alvarez's name to promote himself.
Because the biggest part of promoting David is bringing up Canelo. Without that, not that many people are interested. That's why yesterday's event didn't sell out. That's why I don't expect the pay-per-view buys for this to be robust.
That's why every interview, a pre-fight or post-fight, brings up Canelo, and when they don't do it, David does it himself.
It's clout chasing.